Welcome to Messages from the Universe with Laurie Wondra. Laurie is an internationally renowned psychic medium, author, and shamanic practitioner, sharing insights from angels, guides, wisdom keepers, and teachers of the universe that help you navigate life's mysteries and transformations.
Hello, I am Laurie Wondra, and thank you for listening. I have been getting so many questions about the Comet 3i Atlas, and so I thought it would be really interesting to see what the angels and guides and the wisdom keepers of the universe have to say about this interstellar visitor and what this might mean for the collective consciousness or our individual inner work, or does it mean nothing at all? I will say what intrigues me the most is this is a visitor moving through our skies. It's a traveler from far beyond the edges of our solar system, carrying the frozen breath of another sun. Its name is 3i Atlas, and it's only the third interstellar object ever detected by humanity. But what makes it extraordinary isn't only the science, though that's magnificent in itself. What stirs the spirit is the way it arrives as a messenger, whispering across the cosmic sea, "Remember, you too are made of stars." Today, I want to help you explore this celestial visitor through both scientific wonder and spiritual symbolism, blending astronomy, astrology, and energetic insight as we stand at the turning point of 2025 into 2026, a moment when humanity is invited into a galactic awakening, perhaps? So wherever you are, please pause. Feel the earth beneath you. It's the same earth that floats among the stars. Feel the air move through you. It's the same air that once brushed the tail of a comet. So let's peel back the science that's woven into this wonder. Astronomers first sighted 3i Atlas in 2024 through the Atlas telescope system in Hawaii, and almost immediately they knew that this was not a typical comet. Its path was hyperbolic, meaning that it wasn't bound to our sun. Unlike most comets that travel in looping ellipses, 3i Atlas would pass through our solar system once and never return. It's an interstellar wanderer traveling from another star system entirely, and this alone makes it rare. In all of human history, we've only observed two other interstellar visitors. One in 2017, this mysterious elongated object that defied explanation was Unamano. I'm not sure if I'm even saying that right. And then in 2019, 2i Borisov, that was a comet that behaved more like those we know, but still came from somewhere beyond. So 3i Atlas is only the third that we have registered. Its closest approach to the sun, also known as the perihelion, occurs around the end of October, specifically October 29th through the 31st, passing just inside the orbit of Mars, far from Earth, posing no danger, but close enough to be seen by telescopes as it glows and releases gas. Now, what's astonished scientists is its chemical fingerprint. The spectroscopy shows that its ratio of carbon dioxide to water, that's a CO2 to H2O, was nearly 8-to-1. That's an extreme imbalance compared to comets born within our own solar system. That chemistry means it carries foreign matter, literally material from another star system, frozen for millions of years, now warming under our sun for the first time, leaving a trail of this astral dust in its path. It's actually looked at as a scientific miracle, but also, if we allow our hearts to listen, it's a spiritual metaphor. It's a foreign traveler entering our system, shines for a while, and moves on, and leaves behind a light and memory. So let's dig a little bit deeper into some of the symbolism of this interstellar visitor. Every comet tells a story, and when that story begins beyond our systems, it becomes a mirror of the unknown within us, that outsider energy, the beyond within. So I feel like 3i Atlas can also represent the impulse from outside your known map, an idea, a person, or experience that comes from beyond your own personal orbit. It's the universe saying, expand your awareness. There's more than what you've known. The hyperbolic trajectory, that's that no return, but it's transformation, sweeping through once and then leaves, teaches us that not every influence is meant to stay. Not every experience is meant to stay in our memory. Not every person or relationship we meet is meant to stay. Some encounters are simply catalysts. They awaken something. They alter our trajectory and then move on. Transformation doesn't always mean permanence. In this unusual composition of this comet, this rare fuel for awakening, this comet burns CO2, not the typical water signature. So symbolically, this suggests that the fuel of our awakening may be quite unconventional. Not the emotional waters we expect, but something faster, lighter, more volatile, more inspiration, thought, breath, spirit. Now, I know we've been working on our emotional compass since about 2017 and understanding our emotions, recalibrating our emotional energy sense, and then our mental processes were awakening in that. And then once those were aligned, we start to balance the emotions to the new belief systems. I feel that this comet is delivering more of this gas or more of this analytical, this more inspiration that leads us into different thought processes. We're once again going to change our mental beliefs. And of course, when we change our mental beliefs, we have to then adjust our emotional processes that align. Now also, this comet is a safe distance. It's close enough to touch or see, but yet it's far enough away not to destroy. Its path stays within Mars' orbit, but well away from Earth. Transformation comes near, but does not overwhelm. The universe reminds us that change doesn't have to be catastrophic. It can be radiant, yet safe. And I bring up Mars because I want to touch on the importance of the interaction that I believe with Mars at a later point. Now, the tail of this comet represents what was hidden now can be revealed. As sunlight warms the comet, it releases what was frozen, forming a luminous tail. Likewise, as we move towards greater awareness, activate our own light system and become more light and bring more light into our own personal shadow, what has been dormant or repressed within becomes visible, streaming behind us as light. And this interstellar messenger, well, this is cosmic correspondence. These are objects from beyond the solar system. They're literal messengers from the stars. I communicate with astral beings. I have 30-some tribes that I've connected with, and they carry messages. They carry vibration of galactic consciousness. This, I feel, is an invitation to remember that Earth is part of a much larger family. Our universe, our galaxy, is part of a much larger sense of being. Now let's peel back into the astrology components of the comet era. So energetically, I like to look at the timing of 3i Atlas is profound. As it nears the late part of October 2025, we find ourselves at the accumulation of a universal year of 9 in numerology. Year of closure, karmic release, deep transformation. It's been an ending cycle of completions. Right before we enter into the month of November, which is an 11, which is in itself is a gateway. But immediately after 2025, 2026 begins a universal year of 1, the vibration of initiation, creation, and new beginnings. And right at that threshold, there's this interstellar comet, a messenger from another world that flares in our sky. The symbolism couldn't be more precise. Completion and rebirth, ending and new beginnings. Humanity's graduation into a new octave of awareness, being aware of not just something that's tied us to the past and our emotions, but something that's moving us more into our mental state of beliefs and awareness. So astrologically, 2025 also marks a very powerful backdrop of planetary shifts. Pluto completes its move into Aquarius, transforming collective systems, technology, and consciousness networks. Uranus continues to be electrifying Taurus, revolutionizing how we relate to Earth, to money, and physical reality. And Neptune edges towards Aries, igniting spiritual pioneers and visionaries. And lastly, Saturn holds steady in Pisces, grounding the mystical into solid form. So within this symphony of our planets, 3i Atlas becomes the galactic note that reminds us that we're not merely planetary beings. We are interstellar conscious waking up to itself. So think of what happens when a comet nears a star. Its ice melts, its dust releases, its light becomes visible. That's the process of awakening. Each of us carries frozen aspects, dreams unexpressed, truths unspoken, and for some, love unshared. As we draw nearer to the light of awareness, our own inner sun, those hidden parts begin to shine. The energy of 3i Atlas invites you to ask, what parts of me are ready to thaw? What brilliance have I kept frozen in fear or just by habit? This is not a destructive heat. It's illumination. It's the divine warmth that reveals your tail of light, the luminous trail of everything you've transformed. If you are a journaler, here are a few great journal prompts for you. What aspects of my life feel frozen, waiting for warmth to release them? What new inspiration or idea has entered my field lately that feels not from here? And what can I release as I cross from this energy of 2025, from completion into 2026, which is creation? And lastly, how do I experience my connection to the greater cosmos as something distant or something pulsing through me? Let your intuition, not your intellect, answer. Tap into or plug into the cosmos, that part of you that is of the star systems. The comet will speak through your sensations, not through analysis. Now let's look at a little bit of numerology. In numerology, 9 represents the end of a soul cycle, forgiveness, wisdom, and closure. It asks us to surrender what's complete. And 1 represents that beginning, that creativity and independence and a spark of new. And together they form this sacred breath, exhaling. That's the 9. And inhaling, that's the welcome of the new. As we move from the 9 vibration of 2025 into the 1 vibration of 2026, we collectively stand at the between, that still point where endings become beginnings. I think 3i Atlas mirrors this transition perfectly. It arrives at the final exhale of one era and then ignites, then departs, leaving behind inspiration for what's next. But I also feel it reminds us that we are both the ending and the beginning. We are the cycle itself. Now let's look at some of the planetary teachers and the cosmic archetypes, because each planet in our sky carries its own lessons, and 3i Atlas interacts symbolically with all of them. So Pluto's in Aquarius 2025 to 2043, and this transformer is in the sign of collective intelligence. It dissolves old system and births a new era of shared power and consciousness, the death and rebirth. The comet echoes this by showing that knowledge itself transcends boundaries, even the boundary of our solar system. And Uranus in Taurus, this is the awakener in the realm of earth and value. It disrupts what we think is secure to help us rediscover what truly sustains us. Now, Atlas's interstellar nature reminds us that Earth's abundance is part of a cosmic ecology, the material world is made of stardust. And Neptune, entering Aries 2025-2026, the mystic moves into the sign of action. Spirituality becomes embodied, creative, and brave. This comet may be the spark that ignites the flame of inspired leadership among healers, innovators, and dreamers. And then we have Saturn in Pisces, the wise teacher, bringing structure to intuition, helping us give form to the formless. This isn't so wooey-wooey. There's scientific fact and mental processes. That's in the gas that I'm picking up on the tail from this comet that we are experiencing. The comet's steady arc mirrors Saturn's reminder that even the most ethereal experiences need grounding, fact, data, trial and error. But together, these influences frame 3i Atlas into a cosmic initiation, the universe teaching us to merge science and spirit, structure and mystery, and matter and light. This has been my mission, my purpose, my entire life, is bringing the fact to some of that mystery, the metaphysical. Now, I mentioned Mars earlier, that this comet is still within the orbit of Mars. Mars is that warrior. It's the masculine energy, and it can mean fight or war. But in this, it's not that. This is the brain power. This is the intellect. This is the mental processes. Our mental layer of energy is going through transformation. And that mental processes and beliefs are being grounded in the emotion. So it's being grounded in love and compassion when it's healthy. And the light is showing us where there's unhealthy beliefs or unhealthy mental processes or practices that it's time to release. And Mars can be stubborn. Mars can think that it's always right, but this is a time for change and the understanding that it's not always right. And it doesn't always have to be with such force. There's flow. And we can see that in the tail of this comet, that there's flow and release across the sky. So what are some practices that you might use to work with this energy? Well, I've been spending time outside at night. A little bit chilly, but spending outside. Go outside at night. Find a star that calls to you. Inhale its light into your heart. Exhale your own light back out into the cosmos. Do this until you feel yourself breathing with the universe. And another practice is the comet visualization. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as a comet traveling through space. You've carried frozen memories and unexpressed gifts for eons, but now as you approach the radiant sun of your higher self, they begin to vaporize into light. See your luminous tail streaming behind you, a record of everything you've released that now blesses others. And some great crystals for you to use at this time, because Comet's energy resonates with higher vibrations. Stones that I've chosen would be moldavite, tektite, labradorite, and certainly celestite. Hold one during meditation and ask to receive any insights, codes, or memories your higher consciousness wishes to awaken. And yes, this tail of this comet is releasing new interstellar codes and keys from the universes beyond. So we want space and room for those to land. As we move into a universal year, creation is sacred. So this would also be a great time to write, to paint, to dance, to sing, whatever you would like to do to express, and let that act be your offering of light. Your creativity is your comet tail, leaving a trail others can follow. Now, when I sat with this, I also asked the question about humanity's galactic initiation, because it's not just individual, it's about our humanity and our collective consciousness. So beyond the personal transformation that 3i Atlas symbolizes is certainly a collective awakening. Humanity, remembering its galactic roots. Science tells us the comet's material comes from another star system. Spirit tells us that our bodies, too, are made up of ancient stardust, atoms forged in long-dead suns, reborn through Earth's soil, breath, and oceans. The rise of the phoenix. This visitor isn't an alien, it's family, a relative returning home for a brief hello before continuing to its eternal journey. It arrives as we prepare for the dawn of a new era, where consciousness expands from planetary to galactic. We will begin to see ourselves not as separate nations on one small world, but as participants in a living, intelligent universe. A sense that following this comet will witness discoveries that echo its message, new space phenomena, deeper insights into consciousness, and bridges between physics and spirit. And each will remind us that awakening isn't about leaving Earth. It's about realizing that Earth herself is part of a galactic song. It's part of our history, our ancestry. If you've been feeling restless, nostalgic, or even a bit homesick for something you can't quite name, you're not alone. Interstellar energy awakens a longing, a soul memory that whispers, you have walked among the stars before. And these feelings might rise as dreams or deja vu moments or sudden waves of emotion. Allow them. You are simply remembering and reconnecting with the vastness of who you are. Comets stir the deep waters of our psyche. They bring awareness and tenderness, light and melancholy. And mostly comets are based on water-based or emotion, but this one is different. This is gas-based. So going forward, I believe it's dropping the codes of the mental processes that will remind us that beauty often exists in impermanence. The visitor that teaches by passing through and then moving on. So when emotion swells, don't resist. When new beliefs or old beliefs are challenged, be open to them. Be trusting and curious. Let this time and this energy move through you as the tale of your own awakening, a luminous release trailing behind your journey forward. So as we close this cycle and step into a new number 1, I'd like you to remember just a few things. The universe is not outside of us. It is within us. The light of distant comets is the same light that burns in all of our cells. And the end of one orbit is the beginning of another. So may 3i Atlas awaken in each of us the courage to explore beyond fear, to create beyond limitations, to love beyond time. May the warmth of awareness melt what's been frozen. May our own tales of light, our creations, our kindness, our consciousness blaze brightly across the sky of humanity. And may we remember that even as we travel through darkness, we are always moving towards light. I want to thank you for journeying with me today through this science and spirit and starlit mystery of 3i Atlas. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. Please reach out at Laurie@yourlifecore.com. But as you go about your days, take a moment to look at the night sky. You might not see the comet itself unless you've got a telescope, but you can feel it. A traveler moving silently through the infinite, mirroring your own path of transformation. And the truth is we are all visitors here, luminous travelers finding our way home. And together we are awakened. We become a galaxy of consciousness, lighting the cosmos with love. Until next time, breathe deeply, shine brightly, and remember, you are the universe remembering itself. I'm Laurie Wondra of Your Life Core, and thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to Messages from the Universe. For information about Laurie Wondra's current events or to schedule a private session, visit her website, yourlifecore.com. You can also subscribe to her monthly newsletter. Laurie also shares inspirational and informational messages on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening.